Hello. Thank you for coming to Klaviyo Boston. This is the Beyond Email track. My name is Ezra Friedman, and I am the VP of Data Science here at Klaviyo. So I'm within our engineering group and working on building data science into the product for you to use. Thank you. This session is called Rewarding Customer Loyalty. And with us, we have an excellent presenter, co-founder of Smile.io, Steve Deckert. Steve, how about a round of applause for Steve? Steve is an entrepreneur and co-founder of Smile.io, where he has helped 20,000 plus businesses create engaged communities using reward programs. I have a fun fact here about Steve that you may not know. For the past 10 years, once a year, Steve has gone off the grid into the wilderness for a full week. He's Canadian and is based in Waterloo, but he takes a train up north until he feels the inspiration, has the conductor stop said train, he gets off the train, and then a week later returns and flags down the train to go back home. So that's pretty amazing for a technology entrepreneur. But I'm sure we'll enjoy the talk, so please welcome Steve.
Thank you. Thank you. So that's actually how I got here today. It was a really long ride. It was really cold, too. I'm here today to talk to you about how to create true customer loyalty. I think a lot of us here understand customer loyalty and customer loyalty programs, but when we're talking about those, we're not necessarily talking about creating true customer loyalty. I've got bad news. Over the next 5 years, most e-commerce stores are going to go out of business, especially the smaller ones, the ones that are like really competitive in those like SMB segments. Most of those over the next 5 years are going to be out of business. Some of them might be in this room right now. There is good news, though, and that's that we still have time to save them. So hopefully I scared you a little bit. This is me. I'm Steve. I'm a co-founder of Smile. I've been doing e-commerce since 2007. I started out selling laser toner cartridges online on Magento Beta in 2007. That company was called inkprint.ca. The website's not up, so don't go there. And I learned a lot selling toner cartridges online. I learned that it is really boring selling toner cartridges online. And I also learned that it's really hard to sell stuff online. I learned a lot about what was a good strategy and what you could do to be successful, but I mostly learned how not to be successful in that business, because that business went bankrupt within a year. And out of that experience in selling online and learning a lot about e-commerce, I actually co-founded an agency. That agency was an e-commerce consulting agency. We would help people create their e-commerce websites, customize them, do whatever we could to basically get a client. And that company was called Web Development Canada. The website was www.wdca.ca. Terrible name. Great SEO, though, right? And in that experience, in co-founding an agency and having dozens of clients and working on all of their sites, I learned even more about e-commerce. I learned about what made them successful, and I learned a lot about the problems that they had. And one of the big problems, and this is back in 2008, one of the big problems that they had was actually getting their customers to come back and having their customers make repeat purchases. So many of them were focused on getting the next visitor and the next sale, and no one was focused on keeping those customers coming back. And so, after about a year or so of running that agency, we decided to create a product that was called Sweet Tooth back then. Sweet Tooth was the loyalty points app that e-commerce sites could plug into their store and create a loyalty program. That did so well that we actually shut down the e-commerce consulting agency, focused on our product, Sweet Tooth, and we actually were able to raise venture capital. In 2012, we raised $1 million. But it's $1 million Canadian, so I think that's like 50 bucks here or something like that. And so we raised some venture capital and built out a new platform that is called Smile. And that's what I'm currently working on right now, Smile.io. Smile.io is a rewards platform. So we do loyalty programs, but we also do VIP programs where we can have customers in different levels, and they can achieve different status and get like really special rewards based on being the best customers. We also do referral programs too. So if you are creating these happy, fervently loyal customers, we should give them the tools to be able to share that passion for your brand with their friends. So we do that with the referral program as well. We are the #1 most used loyalty and gamification tool for online businesses. That's according to Datanyze. Datanyze is a website that basically collects what technologies different websites are using. So if you go check that out, you'll see that we're #1 there. We've got about 20,000 merchants around the world and growing that are using our platform. And we are a proud Klaviyo partner. We have an integration with Klaviyo where basically all of the Smile data can be sent to Klaviyo so that you can do some email marketing with your rewards data. So that's Smile. At the end of this presentation, I'm going to have time for questions. I want to try and leave a good amount of time for questions. And I'll also be giving you swag. So if you want to look as cool as Tyler here in a Smile t-shirt, save up the good questions, and we've got swag over here. You can just come and grab some. Cool. So I kind of lied a little bit. I said that we're going to talk about like how to create true customer loyalty, but I actually want to focus on why you should create customer loyalty. Just as a show of hands, put your hand up if you're a merchant. You sell things online. Okay, now keep your hand up if you thought about one day maybe launching a rewards program of some kind. Okay, now keep your hand up if you actually launched one. That's actually not bad. But if you look at the starting number of hands, it's maybe 1/3 of the audience in this room. And that's about what we see, too. About 1/3 of merchants have some form of a rewards program. And to me, that's really scary because there's 70% of the merchants out there that don't have a way of keeping their customers coming back. I'm going to explain why you should create a rewards program and why you should try to create true customer loyalty with 3 traps that I see a ton of merchants falling into these days. And these traps, over the next 5 years, could potentially kill your e-commerce business. The first one is the channel everyone loves to hate. It's Amazon, right? Put your hand up if you sell on Amazon. Put your hand up if you love it. Yeah, okay, there's money there, so it's not bad, but it's a lot of work, right? It consumes a lot of your mental energy, right? You have to monitor your competitors and their prices and make sure that your listings are in best practices with Amazon's algorithms, and you hit that buy box. And if it's consuming all this mental energy, and if you're not there, you might have to use Amazon advertising, which is recently repackaged and reannounced. So you're going to see Amazon making a lot of plays into advertising over the next little while. So you've got these kind of low margins on Amazon, and you're trying to get into that buy box on Amazon, and you're probably maybe even spending money to be in that buy box on Amazon, and that's further cutting into your margins. If you're doing really well, Amazon will actually steal your product. Has that ever happened to anyone here? I hope not. It's happened to you? I'm so sorry. It sucks when that happens, doesn't it? If you're really successful, well, the good news is you were really successful on Amazon, and they thought it was a good model. But they probably found a supplier and kind of side-skirted you and cut out the middle woman in this case. That's really sucks when that happens. So if you are successful on Amazon, this could potentially happen to you. All of this is not a good situation, but this is actually not necessarily the trap that I want to talk about. This is Amazon's business model. Amazon's business model is having low prices, is having a wide selection of items, and it's having extreme convenience in purchasing, where I can click once and get the items that I want. And they're probably delivered within like an hour or a day or 2 days or something like that. The danger, the trap, is when you try to compete with Amazon on their business terms, with their business model. If you try to compete with Amazon on price, on selection, or on convenience, you will lose, and it could kill your business. And this doesn't even necessarily mean that you're on Amazon. If you have an e-commerce site, you are competing with Amazon. That's another channel where buyers can purchase from. So they are looking at Amazon as well as potentially your site. And if the value prop that you're offering is price and/or selection and/or convenience, low prices, I should say, you're not going to win against Amazon. Because this business model is the exact same business model as a vending machine, right? When you think about it, it's a low price, it's convenient, and there's a lot of things that I can get. And if there are two vending machines side by side, I'm just going to go to the one that has the lowest price, or the one that's closest to me and more convenient, or the one that has the item that I'm looking for. I have absolutely no loyalty to a vending machine. If you do, something might be wrong. So if you are building a business that competes based on price or selection or availability or any combination of those three, you're in a very dangerous spot. You are building a vending machine, and you're competing against the world's best vending machine. I love this quote from Seth Godin. He said that the buying race is over. Amazon won. The shopping race, though, the struggle to create experiences that are worth paying for, that's just beginning. So this is a trap, but it's also an opportunity. You can fall for the trap. You can compete on price, low prices, selection, and convenience, and you might lose over the next 5 years to Amazon. But this is also an opportunity for you to create real experiences for your customers and differentiate yourself, because Amazon doesn't create experiences. They're a vending machine. The second trap that I see is over-reliance on discounts. If you use discounts as a primary means to gain a sale or to gain a customer, this is an extremely dangerous place for you to be, and over the next 5 years, this could potentially kill your business. And it sucks because this is kind of like the standard e-commerce playbook, right? We've all been told that we're going to acquire some traffic, whether that's through organic traffic, is probably actually through paid ads, is where a lot of us are getting our traffic. And we'll get those site visitors to our site, and we'll convert them into an email address in exchange for a coupon, maybe $5 or 10% off your first order. And that person might purchase then. They may not, but we've got their email address collected, so we'll send out a few more emails to them. And those emails will probably contain a discount as well, and we'll try to get them to come back with that discount. And maybe that person does make that first purchase. And then for us to get our second purchase out of that person, we might do some retargeting to them, maybe also with a discount. If it's not working, we might use a discount. We might continue to hammer them with emails and try to get them to make their second purchase with a discount. And we're basically creating this discount-seeking behavior where the only way we can get a sale out of someone is if we discount our products. And that's a real shame. There's actually businesses making a business out of this, right? Put your hand up if you've ever heard of Retail Me Not or Honey. Keep your hand up if you love them. Okay, for personal use probably. You get discounts and you're like, great. And then people do it to you and you're like, oh, right? For those that don't know, Retail Me Not and Honey, they're browser extensions where shoppers can quickly check and look for a coupon that can be applied to your site. And that's kind of scary if you're selling things online. For people to so easily get a discount without doing any work or being validated at all. It really is a scary place to be as an e-commerce retailer. There are really two things you can do. You can beat them or you can join them. To beat them, you have to stop offering discounts. That's tough to do. And if you are offering discounts, they have to be one-to-one discounts, one-time use. They can't be site-wide. A lot of retailers I'm seeing are joining them. And the way they do that is actually by paying a commission to these companies that is lower than the discounts they're probably offering to their users. And then you're saving a little bit of money, but in effect, you're still discounting your products. So it's not a great game to play. And this is only going to get worse over the next 5 years. In 2018, 76% of retailers said that they're going to increase the number of discounts they offer in 2018. So not only are there more retailers out there for you to compete with, they're offering more discounts as well. So this means that we're in a hyper-competitive environment, that we're extremely competitive on price, and we're creating all of these discount seekers. We're basically training customers to expect discounts. And I know that I'm guilty of this myself. I will sometimes Google search for a coupon, or I have these apps installed. I know that I've purposefully abandoned a cart to get a coupon. Put your hand up if you've ever done that. We hate it when people do that to us, and we do it too, right? Or I know that I'll subscribe to newsletters that I have absolutely no intention of ever reading. I'll get the first one and I'll unsubscribe. But I've got the discount, I've got the thing that I want, and they have a sale, so I guess that's good. But they don't have a customer. And this is a really, really dangerous place to be. I love this quote from Robin Lewis. He said that the paradox is that while the retail consensus is that consumers are hooked on the drug of sales, the longer and more persistently brands and retailers push the drug, the more the process becomes an implicit admission that their brand or store is worth less. And the way that I like to summarize this is that if you're always discounting your products, you're a discount brand. Do you want to be a discount brand? If you do, you're going back into that game with Amazon and all of your competitors where you're a vending machine. You're competing on price, you're not competing on experiences. So think about whether you want to get into this game, whether this is the game that you want to play, or if there's another game out there for you to play. The third trap that I see is an over-reliance on paid ads. This graph is Facebook's CPMs over the past year or so, up to February. You know, the general trend is that they're increasing year over year. I don't know, put your hand up if you've advertised on Facebook yet. Who's seen their Facebook ad prices increase over the past year, right? Everyone, right? And this isn't a secret. This is actually pretty well known amongst all of us, and Facebook's even admitting it. Facebook's CFO said this in their second to last quarterly earnings report. He said as supply growth, so as ad supply growth has slowed, then there's more competition and you're seeing prices increase and as demand continues to grow. More people want to place ads, but they don't have enough places to show them. Your prices are going to go up. So this is really well known, and I don't think this trend is going anywhere anytime soon. So if you are relying on paid ads as a primary means for you to acquire traffic, customers, whatever, just know that that game is going to be a little bit more expensive to play every single year that you play it. And over the next 5 years, that's a trap that might kill your business, especially if you rely on that paid traffic. And the way that I like to think about whether you are over-reliant on paid ads is if you were to shut off paid ads right now, would your business be okay? Would it go under? Would you have to let people go? And think about the answers to those questions. And if the answer is yes, then maybe you're a little bit over-reliant on paid ads for traffic and for customers. This is not just Facebook. The cost of ads have been outpacing inflation since about 2014. If you look at mobile search, the cost per click there, the mobile display CPM there, video ads, if you're getting into the Super Bowl, don't even try. It's just too expensive. So in every single advertising channel that we see, the cost is going up, and that is significantly outpacing inflation. And this, I don't think this is going to change anytime soon. This is a trend. The search traffic growth over the past 3 years or so has grown by 11%. So yeah, there are more people using the web, and they have more access to it. There's about 11% more search queries every single year. There's a growth of 11%. But there's a 42% increase in search spend. So we're paying 42% more, we're spending 42% more, and the growth in that market is only 11%. If I was an investor, I wouldn't make an investment here. 30% of consumers have ad blockers installed. So you're spending money on ads that 1 out of 3 aren't even getting seen. And over the next 5 years, I would not be surprised if in 5 years this is at like 80%. So what do you do when 80% of the ads that you're posting aren't even being seen? And what happens when that's a significant source of traffic and sales for you when 80% of those aren't even going to be seen? Just a quick poll, who here has an ad blocker installed on their computer? Actually, it's not bad. I think it's more than 30%, but I know that I do. I don't like seeing ads. Even when I do see them, I actually don't really trust them. 84% of millennials don't trust advertising. We've grown up with every company telling us that they're the best and they're the cheapest and the fastest and all of that, and we've heard that over and over again, and we just don't trust it anymore. I just don't believe advertisements when I see them. But what I do trust is my friends and my social circles and their opinions. I trust the opinions of others, like user-generated content, but I don't necessarily trust ads. And that's millennials. This will increase with each different generation. Do you trust ads? Think about that. Do you trust ads? When you see an ad, do you trust it? Personally, I don't. And you just answer this for yourself. And think about that the next time you're making an ad and you're running an ad. So these are the 3 traps. The one trap is competing with Amazon, or really competing with anyone on price, selection, or convenience. Remember, competing with Amazon it's not just Amazon, it's everyone that's out there. But if you are competing on those 3 things, Amazon will be your #1 competitor over the next 5 years. They're going to swallow up the market. They're the best vending machine out there. The second trap is discounts as a primary means to convert someone into a sale and into a resale and a resale. And the third is an over-reliance on paid ads. If you fall for these traps, you're basically going to build a vending machine in which you're going to have to pay more and more and more for less and less and less valuable customers who are just going to eventually shop somewhere else, because these are transient customers who only care about price and convenience. The worst part is that this is happening for so many people and they don't even know it. They're running a race to the bottom and they don't even know that they're running. And so it's really scary when I see all of these businesses that are so reliant on these strategies. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I don't know if you're going to be around over the next 5 years, because they don't even know this is happening. And this is what I actually call the illusion of growth. This is probably the best example of these 3 things happening and the result that happens from it. This is Blue Apron. Put your hand up if you've ever heard of Blue Apron before. Yeah, everyone's heard of them. You've probably heard, if you haven't heard of them, what they do is basically they do like prepared ingredients for meals. So you can make a meal. They've got all the prepared ingredients that are in the right proportions and everything. You just throw it together and make a meal. They came up in 2013 in the kind of the rise of the subscription economy. And they were pretty successful at first, but they wanted to IPO. And so their strategy was to take some investment. They had some venture capital. They spent a lot of that on acquiring customers. They discounted their products a lot. I've heard in podcasts, and I saw ads online where they would give you your first month or 2 for free, and then they were hoping you would convert into a paid subscriber. And they just over-invested in paid advertisements to the point where that was, really the only channel that they had for acquiring a customer. And it worked well. I mean, for 3 years, it worked pretty well. This is just like Google search trends. But they were growing, and more and more people knew about them. And then they finally got their IPO. So yay, they're successful. They're growing. And then after their IPO, they died because all of the customers that they acquired were transient, discount-seeking customers that really only wanted two free months' worth of meals. And they spent so much to get these customers. Basically, the cost to acquire a customer outpaced the CLV. And this is what their stock looks like right now. So they IPO'd just under $10. Right now, as of like yesterday, it was under $2. This brand won't make it over the next 5 years. I hope they do, but I don't think they will. And this is what happens to a business that falls for those 3 traps. Their business was completely built on transactional relationships. And when I talk about transactional relationships, it's really just facilitating a transaction. It's an exchange of money for goods. And so think to yourself, like, is my business built on transactional relationships? What is my business built on? And then what's the solution if it is? The solution is actually emotional relationships. It's creating emotions in our customers. Because customers care about being wowed. Customers care about experiences. Customers care about things that make them smile and things that they want to share with their friends. If I want to get something cheap, I can find something cheap. And there's so many places for me to get those things. But a real experience, a real emotional connection with a brand, that's hard to find. And when I find it, I remember that brand and I stay with that brand forever. And it makes sense because loyalty itself is an emotion, right? Why are we talking about loyalty programs and reward programs without really talking about the core emotion of what we're trying to create in customers? And that's it. If we're not creating that core emotional connection with our customers, there's no point running a loyalty program. And this is actually like the hardest part, is getting up to this point, is convincing ourselves that we need to create emotional connections with our customers and then actually creating them. Because a loyalty program is really, it's like the last mile. But so much work that you need to do goes in before that. It's changing the way your business operates. It's stopping the vending machine mentality, and it's actually caring about your customers and actually wanting to create emotional connections with them. A loyalty program, a rewards program, just puts structure around something that you already believe. There are so many ways that you can build emotional relationships with customers. You don't even need a loyalty program to do that. There's like the general category of reward programs. There are loyalty programs where you're giving customers points for buying things from you, for maybe sharing on social media, for submitting UGC, and then they can spend those points on like a free gift or some sort of awesome experience. Starbucks has a pretty good loyalty program. VIP programs, those are where you have customers placed into tiers and levels, and your best customers unlock the best rewards, and usually these are experiential rewards. Sometimes they're status-based rewards. Anyone here know Sephora? Sephora VIB Rouge, anyone here? Yeah? You proud of it? Yeah. I bet you're proud of it. How much did you spend?
I don't want to talk about it.
Exactly, right? But it's an emotional connection. You're getting something exclusive. You're getting invited to exclusive events. You're getting you get notified about sales before everyone else. And there's a lot that they're doing that's really cool. And it starts with caring about you as a person. There are referral programs, which I would recommend any business that's actually creating an emotional connection with your customers. Plug in a referral program, and it's just like an instant win. You're already creating these amazing experiences for your customers. Give them the tools to share those experiences with everyone else. And a referral program is great for that. I think Dropbox revolutionized this when they launched their referral program. Surprise and delight campaigns, I think these are my favorite, and I never see these, or at least maybe they have never happened to me. It's where you just randomly surprise someone with a nice gift or a nice experience. It could be a handwritten note. It could be a phone call, just something that they're not expecting. Because when it comes to like expectation theory, my experiences are the difference between what I'm expecting and reality. So if I'm not expecting something and you give me something, even if it's really small, that sometimes goes a lot further than if I was expecting something and you meet those demands, you meet those expectations. So a surprise and delight campaign is actually really cool to run, and it can be really cheap. It could be something as simple as just like picking up the phone and calling your customers and just thanking them. And out of the blue. It doesn't have to be after a purchase. It could be any time. Exceptional customer service is another one. And when I say exceptional, I mean exceptional, like not sufficient, like exceptional customer service. Go above and beyond to the point where it's remarkable, where I'll make a remark about it. It's remarkable. Zappos has done a really good job of this. They've basically created their whole business based on exceptional customer service. So there are a lot of ways to do this. Personalization is a good one too. When you, like, I always like to romanticize about back in the day when you'd like walk into like the butcher and they'd be like, "Hey Steve, how's it going? Hey, the baseball team did really well last night," and that kind of personalized approach. You can do that online now too, and that can truly create an amazing customer experience that's remarkable. So I know there's some great tools like Nosto out there that can do that. Brand identity is a really good one too. I think the most commonly referenced example of this is Apple. It's think different. It's be different. I want to show that I'm different, that I'm unique. And when I buy Apple products, that's reflected. That product reflects the way I feel. So it could be something as simple as brand identity. Social and political causes and charity, that's great. Tom's Shoes does a really great example of this where they're giving a free shoe or a donation, a cash donation to people that are in need in South America. They're standing for or against something. Nike just did this. And say what you will about it, whether you agree or disagree, their sales are up 30%. So it does work. There's also social proof and exclusivity. So offering people things that other people can't get as a way to elevate their experience. These are some great examples of creating emotional relationships. Lush, they have attached themselves to a social cause, which is basically not testing any of their products on animals and supporting basically the rehabilitation of animals. They're a cosmetics company. Patagonia does a great job too. They basically have aligned their brand with those that believe that we shouldn't be such consumers and that we shouldn't be so material and that we should maybe have goods that last for longer than 2 years or so. And people that buy Patagonia buy it for that reason. It's also fashionable. Politics, too, they've associated themselves with trying to save the national parks that are out there, and some of them are being shut down. So that's a good way to create those emotional connections with your customers. Starbucks has a ridiculously addictive rewards program that I can't get off, but I'm a gold star, so I don't care. It's okay. Barstool Sports is another cool one too, and you wouldn't think that they're really doing this, but Barstool Sports, for their audience, they're just creating content that's really entertaining and just connects with me as a person. It's like they get me, and I'll buy from them. I don't buy from them, but people do. So the question is, what brands do you love, and why do you love them? What brands, if they were to go out of business, would you be actually really upset about? And sure, example.
You want an answer?
Yeah, sure, yeah. I'll take answers.
Latote, it's a subscription service. It's changed my entire life.
Why?
They deliver clothes that actually fit me, and they have an app you can shop through for closet. And
Right.
I think everyone can hear me anyway. But yeah, so they have like this really beautiful app that you can, every time they have new arrivals, they let you know. They give you fashion tips. You can star things so that when they're available, you can add them to your box. As soon as you send it back, they send you a new one within like 24 to 48 hours.
Nice.
Their customer service is amazing. I called to pause once, and they're like, "Oh, are you having a bad experience?" I was like, "No, I'm buying everything you're sending me, and I need to stop." But I actually paused to be able to donate some of the money that I was paying to Latote to ACLU, and they were like,
Right.
"Oh, well, we're going to give you a free month when you restart just for being a good person." And I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
And other than when you're prompted at a conference, have you told anyone about them?
Everyone.
Right? So that's a really cool, and it's really not that much that they did. I mean, they went above and beyond, but they gave you a free month, right? And that's really cool for them to do. Yeah. It doesn't really cost that much, and it doesn't even necessarily need a loyalty program. Anyone else have any remarkable examples or just brands that they love that if that brand died, they would be really upset about?
I use Shipt
Shipped?
for my groceries. We don't
Okay.
have Instacart where I live
Okay.
for some reason. It's in the next zip code, but not in my zip code.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I love Shipt, and I haven't been to the grocery store in like a year because of it, and I
Yeah.
just cannot imagine living. And their customer service is amazing as well.
Yeah.
I've had a few shoppers deliver the wrong item, and I've called Shipt, and they don't deliver for free under $35. But
Right.
it'll be the middle of the night, 2 o'clock in the morning. They'll send someone out to get like, I don't know, a thing of ginger or something like that. Something that's really small and
Yeah.
cheap, and they'll bring it right to my house in the middle of the night. It's great.
If there was a competitor, would you switch to them?
Probably not. I know Instacart's coming
Yeah.
in 2 months, and I'm like, nope.
Yeah, that's a good example. There's actual customer loyalty without necessarily having a loyalty program. Any other examples that you guys love where if a brand died tomorrow, you would be really upset?
Alamo Draft House. The movies. I like their nachos. They have good pizza.
Yeah.
Well, I'm in Brooklyn, so and then because there's no other place like that. Typically, if I go to a theater, I don't
Right.
like the food, but there, I like it, and I like the culture of it. Even though it's not exactly my culture, it's something that's pleasant to be in.
Yeah, it's an experience.
Yeah.
Right? And those customer experiences are extremely important. So, if you didn't think about what brands you love and what brands, if they were to die, you'd be actually genuinely upset about. And then ask yourself, is my brand one of those brands for someone out there? Do you create emotional relationships with your customers is really the question. I can't answer that for you. If the answer is yes, then you've done 90% of the work to creating an amazing loyalty program. If the answer is no, then you need to really strongly think about whether you're falling for those traps and if your business will exist over the next 5 years. And that's how you create true customer loyalty. Thanks.
Thank you, Steve. Looks like we have about 11 minutes for questions. So I have a mic here. We have a mic that'll be roaming in the back.
And I've
Start
got,
right here.
I got swag up here too, so if you ask a question, go ahead, grab a t-shirt.
Hi. So I guess it's technically a loyalty slash membership program we have. We sell shoes, and you pay like $50 a year, and you get discounts for on everything every day, free shipping, exclusive, whatever.
Yeah, like Amazon Prime.
Kinda, sure. And
Yeah.
yeah, so, but we're having a problem retaining those customers.
Right.
And like, I've tried not everything, but all I have in my power, like extra 40% off your next purchase when you renew and all that stuff. But people aren't opening my emails. They don't want to do it. I don't know what it's not expensive.
Yeah.
Like, you get 20% off and it like pays for itself in like 2 purchases.
Yeah, so I would say, that's a great example of think about the experiences that you're creating for that customer, and are they emotional or are they transactional?
Yeah, because it's like the brand is kind of, I guess, it's a global brand, but it's kind of has like a cult following.
Okay.
And people get the membership because they love the brand, but I don't know why they don't want to keep their membership because we're the U.S. distributors of the brand, so we can only help customers in the U.S. and the Caribbean.
Yeah, I would say, so I mean, just from the sounds of it, it sounds like you pay money and then you get a discount and you get some convenience factors as well. And those are all transactional elements. So think about what you could do to elevate that experience to something that is more than just a discount, a price, a product, the vending machine stuff, right? So maybe you can like give them first access to new products. If they love these shoes and there's total like junkies out there for these shoes, maybe they have first access to all new shoes that are released like a month before everyone else. I know some sneakerheads and that would drive them nuts, right? Maybe they can influence what products are being made as well. And these things that I'm mentioning, like they're all experiential. They're all about like emotional connections and not necessarily a discount or free shipping, right? So get away from the transactional stuff. You can still do that because some people are transactionally motivated, but that's not going to be what differentiates you from other people. It's going to be the experiences that you create. So what can you offer that's not like a discount?
Yeah, it's like a whole thing.
Yeah, you don't need to answer it now. Just think about that, right?
Or do we have any in the back there? Oh, okay. All right.
We've wanted to turn off the discounts to try to communicate the value of our brand, but it feels like if we do that, then, well, when we have turned them off, like we definitely see a significant drop in our revenue, which makes it so we don't have capital to move. And it seems to me that, right or wrong, that it's almost a language that people speak is 99 cents, or a discount. It's something they expect. And so if they don't get it, they don't see it, then maybe it makes me feel like we can't compete because we're not speaking the language that everyone else on the internet speaks.
Right.
So how do we get past, the barrier to where people think that we're just inept, that we don't have a discount program, and how do we survive long enough to start to become profitable again after we don't offer discounts?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would say, do you want to be like everyone else on the internet? Is that what's going to make you stand out and be a remarkable brand? And probably not. What we're talking about here is like a fundamental shift in your business and positioning, right? But if we're not offering discounts, that means the customers that we are acquiring, they're not transient discount-seeking customers, right? So if you have 1,000 customers that are like this, that's worth more than about 4,000 that are discount-seeking because they're so transient. So you look at like one business that's built on discount seekers, that's like a house of cards. As soon as someone opens up another store that offers a larger discount or Amazon starts selling your products or whatever, they're gone. So that, from a business risk standpoint, this is a fundamental shift in how your business is operating. In terms of delivering value and proving that you're worth the price, there are a ton of brands that do this. What do you sell? Men's jewelry. Right. Yeah. So, I mean, that can be a premium product, right? Those kind of products often are goods where the price is associated with value. So, like, I have nothing against this, but like, I'm not going to buy like a cheap engagement ring, right? And if you do, that's totally fine. But like I personally wouldn't do that because I associate the cost of that thing with value, right? And the value of this thing. So I think you're in actually a good position to do this. This should be a luxury good, and not especially not a discount good. But you can do this in virtually any industry.
The luxury goods almost never win though. Like so the Swatch Group.
Right.
Yeah, they own. You think Swatch is a plastic one, right? They own everything. Like Breitling and Omega, and they
Movement.
want movement.
Yep.
Oh no, Movado, but yeah.
Yeah.
And the same thing with the fancy cars. Was it? I think it was not. Ferrari was just purchased by like Volvo, and so
Yeah.
it seems like the people that go to the masses, the common, like less luxury brand, is actually the ones that are profitable. And so it scares me to think of trying to be a luxury brand because I'm not sure if luxury brands in reality make it. I think it's
Yeah.
the people that sell to the masses that make it.
Yeah, yeah, and so you know, if you want to be like for the masses, and keep in mind, like a Ferrari isn't. There's no coupons on a Ferrari, right? I wish. There are no discounts. There are no coupons on a Rolex, right? So if you want to be a luxury good, then you have to play in that game. But then again, go back to like what are you doing for your customers other than offering a product at a price at a place? What are you doing? And if you're not doing anything, then of course they're going to be transactionally motivated. I think that you have a lot of opportunity because usually you're involved in a very emotional time in someone's life. There are a lot of stories that can be told around purchasing rings or jewelry or something special for someone that I love. And I think that you can really lean into those stories. There's a lot that you can do. You have a very emotional moment, so it should be relatively easy for you to find those emotional connections with customers. They're probably already doing it. They're probably already associating you with some of the best memories of their life.
Okay, I'm gonna move a little bit back here in the room.
So on an acquisition level, if we decide to say, hey, we understand Facebook ads are getting more expensive, we understand that all ads in general are getting more expensive, influencers are becoming more expensive, and we want to move towards this royalty route, which my company's been doing. We have our rewards program, we have our loyalty program, but what can we do to incentivize the people that are a part of our rewards program to start pushing the needle that we can actually move our ad spend away from where they're commonly at to have these guys drive acquisition?
Yep. Do you have a referral program?
Yes, we do.
It's not working then.
It's working, but we want to continue to push.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'd say a referral program is great. The core of a referral program, the reason why a referral program works is because people love your brand. So if you want to improve your referral program, obviously you can work on your messaging and your tactics and making sure that you have the right emails going out to the right person at the right time. Maybe you're sending them an email post-purchase. Maybe after their second or third purchase. We know they probably like us if they purchased 2 or 3 times, unless they're crazy. So there's a lot you can do there, but the reason why someone refers someone is because they love your brand. Oh, and also they'll get this reward in exchange for it too. It's a tool for them to share with their friends, and if they're not doing it, there's some things you can do to tweak the tool, but the reason why they're not doing it, the core of why they're not doing it, is probably because like they don't completely 100% love your brand. If they do, then you just need to make sure you get that tool in front of them at the right time. So I'd certainly recommend doing this after second, third, whatever purchase, sending them an email maybe 14 days after that purchase, so you know that they've received the items, they're hopefully happy, they haven't contacted support. I've seen people do this after 5-star reviews. That's a good time to ask for a referral. So that's a really good way to do it. And you have a loyalty program as well, you said?
Yes, we do.
Are you incentivizing any sort of social sharing or promotion?
Yep, so we got, like us on Facebook, share our video. We have an email place where you can just leave a friend's email or a coworker's email.
Yep.
And it'll go ahead and share our product on our website to them.
Cool. Yeah, do that. And also consider, like, can you get them to create content for you? That's not even necessarily sharing your site or being so promotional and transactional. Like, what experiences can they share with their friends that will resonate more with their friends that don't seem like an ad?
Got it.
Good question. Keep up the good work, though. Like, you're on the right path.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We just have time for one more question.
So do you see a potential trap with loyalty programs also coming across as transactional? Because I see that like with airlines like a lot, right? Like you're at whatever tier, some other airline will say, hey, just transfer over, and people don't really care.
100%. It's a huge issue that I see. It's the largest issue I see is that because you can honestly get set up with Smile and be running a loyalty program in like 5 minutes or less. And that's great, but it's also dangerous, right? Because you can do that and you cannot put any thought or consideration into what makes this special. And you can do it without really having that emotional connection with your customers. So that's why I focus on this kind of content, because if you're not thinking this way, if you're not thinking about creating emotional connections with your customers, your loyalty program is just another promotion. It's just giving points. They're going to be exchanged for a discount. And so, it replaces discounts in that, like, yeah, it's points instead. But it's just a transactional loyalty program. And that's not creating true loyalty. And that's not what will fundamentally change your business. So let's start here. Let's do 90% of the work in creating those emotional connections with our customers. And then when you have a loyalty program, that's great. That's putting some formal structure around a feeling that already exists with our customers. But that absolutely good question.
We have 4 seconds to spare, so I think we'll call it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's have a round of applause for Steve Deckert.
Cheers.